Hi, hello, here's Mamukase. Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we give you the latest trending news in the nation of Zimbabwe, Africa, and beyond. So, yesterday it was Father's Day, and because it was a Sunday, I failed to come with my story, which I was supposed to cover regarding Father's Day yesterday. So Itai Dzamara went missing on 14, is it for 9 May 2015? Yes. No, 9 March 2015. That is when Itai Dzamara went missing. And he was abducted from a barber shop. And from there, he was never seen again. And years later, people are celebrating Father's Day. Each year, we see people celebrating Father's Day. But the question is, are the kids of Itai Dzamara happy when they see you celebrating Father's Day? Are the kids of Itai Dzamara comfortable when they see other people posting on their status, Happy Father's Day? What is really happening to Itai Dzamara's kids? Are they happy? Are they comfortable without knowing the whereabouts of their father? Is he alive? Is he dead? Those answers have not been asked. And we have had an arrogant government where, when you ask them questions about the whereabouts of Itai Dzamara, they were replying arrogantly. And up to this day, they have not accounted for Itai Dzamara. And if we go to the Constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe, it clearly states or sets out the duties or the functions of the president, where the president must uphold, must defend, obey, and respect the Constitution as the supreme law of the nation, and they must ensure that the Constitution and other laws are faithfully, here is the key word, faithfully observed. So the president must promote unity and peace in the nation for the benefit and the well-being of all people of Zimbabwe, must recognize and respect the ideals and values of the liberation struggle, ensure protection of the fundamental rights and the freedoms and the rule of law. So that is where is very important. Fundamental rights, they also include the right to be with your family, the right to be with your parents, the right to be with your father or your kids. But Itai Dzamara was deprived of those rights. And his kids, they were deprived of their rights to have their father. Because Itai Dzamara was not involved in an accident, was not ill, was not involved in any other natural death. He was disappeared by human beings, by people who were sent by other people. So there is a ZANU-PF loyalist called Rutendo Matinyarari. He always claimed that Itai Dzamara was abducted by Western agents. And why is it that ZANU-PF is not taking Matinyarare to question him? Why is that they're not questioning him? Because he seems to have information of the whereabouts of Itai Dzamara. And the responsible government will go and ask, Mkomana uri kuti Itai Dzamara akatorwa nema-Western agents. Can you give us more details so that we can go and update the nation? We have not seen Zimbabwe Republic Police performing its function because there is a missing person report at the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and that person has not been found. So it is the responsibility of the Zimbabwe Republic Police, because they said anybody with information regarding his whereabouts must come forward. And if somebody posts and say, I know the whereabouts of Itai Dzamara, he was taken by the Western agents, the police should question that person about the whereabouts of Itai Dzamara, and they must make sure that they gather the necessary evidence and information from that person and give the family closure and give the people of Zimbabwe closure, so that we can have confidence, we can have trust in the security of Zimbabwe. We can have trust in the security services, in the defense forces, because their mandate is to make sure that they protect the people. They protect us from internal threats, they protect us from external threats. And if indeed Itai Dzamara was abducted by the Western state agents, it means that the Zimbabwe Defense Forces failed us and they failed to do their job. They didn't fail to do their job only, but they failed to come out clean and tell the people what happened to Itai Dzamara. So we cannot celebrate Father's Day. Myself, I cannot have somebody telling me Happy Father's Day when Itai Dzamara's kids don't have anybody to tell Happy Father's Day because there is no grave for Itai Dzamara. If the grave was there, we could have seen the kids go visiting the grave, putting flowers, saying, Daddy, we love you, Happy Father's Day, rest in peace. But that is not happening. And there is silence in all corners and all sectors. The security service is quiet, the judiciary is quiet, parliament is quiet, the president is quiet, everybody else is quiet. We have not seen the government, this current government, making an inquiry after they took over office. Because what we assumed was going to happen is when they assumed office, they were going to open all pending cases and say, we need to reinvestigate these cases. We need to close these cases. We need people to find closure on these cases. But what is happening? There is no closure. Why? Nobody cares about other people. Everybody cares about his own business. This is the reason why we are saying we need to step up efforts to make sure that Zimbabweans are protected. How are we going to step up those efforts? We need to make sure that we change the status quo. We need to make sure that we change the government we have. We need to make sure that we bring the leadership which is going to protect the poor, which is going to defend the poor. That is according to Proverbs chapter 29, verse 7. We need a leader who is going to fight for the poor, who is going to fight for the vulnerable and the weak. Who is catering for the Dzamara family remains a mystery because their father is nowhere to be found. And we have the ZANU-PF loyalists who continue to victimize others, who continue to blackmail others, who continue to say words which are making other people not comfortable. Yet we have our missing brothers and comrades. This happened to More Blessing Ali. The state also always turn the blind eye. And because they believe that they are indispensable, they believe that they are untouchable. But what they don't remember is that hapana musi usingasviki, hapana nguva isingasviki. The day for the truth to be told shall come, because the truth is known within the security cycle. So somebody, someone knows the truth. Somebody, someone is holding the evidence. And one day that evidence shall come out. One day the truth shall prevail. One day it will be told who killed Itai Dzamara or who disappeared Itai Dzamara. But if he is alive, that person who did everything will be exposed one day. So my issue kana kuti nyaya yangu kana kuti shoko randinokusiyira nderekuti hakuna musi usingasviki. Unogona kunonoka asi hakuna musi usingasviki. The day to find the whereabouts of Itai Dzamara and the information regarding his disappearance will come, and soon it is approaching. Once we change the status quo, we are going to deal with these issues. We cannot have enforced disappearances. We cannot have people who are hell-bent to make sure that other people suffer. We cannot have people who just want to enjoy the fruits of this nation alone. And the question remains, when you were celebrating and calling each other on your phones, celebrating Happy Father's Day in your political cycles, did you ever thought about Itai Dzamara's kids? Where is Itai Dzamara? Where are the jobs? Where are the salaries? So if they can't provide Itai Dzamara, how are they going to provide salaries? How are they going to provide the basic things, basic needs? Because if you cannot account for one person, how are you going to account for 5 million people, for 10 million people, for 15 million people, for 20 million people? How? This is the reason why nothing is working in the nation of Zimbabwe, because we have an ignorant government which does not care. And it is our responsibility, it is our duty to remember Itai Dzamara. Each year we celebrate Father's Day. We have to take that year or that day to celebrate the life of Itai Dzamara, to request the state to bring back Itai Dzamara because it is their duty. If you go to section 209, 206, it speaks about national security and to ensure that there is national security, we must have the objectives are that we must reflect the resolve of Zimbabweans to live as equals in liberty, peace, and harmony, free from fear and in prosperity. And those are key issues we need to understand because when we say the national security objectives of Zimbabwe, these are national security objectives of the nation of Zimbabwe. And they must reflect the resolve of Zimbabweans to live in as equals in liberty, peace, and harmony, free from fear and in prosperity. How are we going to live free from fear when Itai Dzamara is not known where his whereabouts, when somebody has been missing for a very long time and there is no accountability and trustworthy report from those who are in power? So we look forward to see how this case is going to unfold as we go on with our lives. But we are not going to forget about Itai Dzamara's whereabouts. From 9 March 2015 up to this day, Itai Dzamara's kids have been deprived their right to have a father. They have been deprived their right to be sent to school by a father, to grow up in the hands of a father, to grow up seeing and knowing their father, not by death, not by any other thing, but by people, human beings who just chose to abduct him for demanding a better Zimbabwe. Fast forward from 2015 to 2017, the same people who are accused of abducting Itai Dzamara came to terms with what Itai Dzamara was saying. They agreed indeed that Mugabe had failed. They agreed indeed that there was massive poverty and looting and suffering in the nation of Zimbabwe. And they agreed that they were criminals who were supposed to be arrested and they removed Mugabe. What they forgot was to arrest all criminals which were looting and causing havoc, and they failed to account for the men who started that noise, who is Itai Dzamara. We continue up to this day to ask, where is Itai Dzamara? And we need answers. So till we meet again in other episodes, thank you very much.